It's like they're trying to be too meta.
You're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Much better.
Yeah. You can buy you a drink. You can.
Well, I mean, he did pick out somebody we know.
Will you sidestep the question? That technology does not exist. Hey everybody, you're listening to A to Z, episode 19. Today's guest is Greg Busceme Sr.
Hey y'all, my name's Zach, and I'm here with my co-host Aaron, and welcome to A2Z. If this is your first time listening, thanks for checking us out.
Want to go that one?
What are you doing? Talk, motherfucker.
A to Z is produced sort of weekly, and show notes can be found at atozpodcast.com. If you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Music, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast fix.
And you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at A2ZBMT, where you can find updates, clips, and extra content.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. Hey guys, hey Aaron, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, dude? How are you doing?
So
bro?
you had a good little thing on Saturday, didn't you?
Yeah, Saturday was the last event for DatMac
For the truck?
Yeah, for the truck. You know, we're not selling a brand or anything. That's sticking around. Maybe one day in the future you might see it pop back up. Who knows? Right. But for the time being, yeah, we had our last thing, and we weren't even going to do it, but we felt like we owed it to our fans. Yeah. To our customers who have really been there and supported us for like 3 years.
Yeah. Has it been that long?
I think so. Yeah. I remember driving to New Orleans with Jordan and picking that sucker up. Yeah. And I think it was about 3 years ago. Yeah. It was 3 springs ago.
I mean, yeah, that's great. How's it feel? How did it feel? Did it feel good to have everybody come out? Like I wasn't able to be there, but I heard it was pretty like slam.
It felt good. It was it was packed. There was a line, a big thick line from start to finish for like 5 hours. We ran out of food.
Awesome.
Which is a rarity. We never run out of food. You know, It's big shout out to my partner Jordan. You know, couldn't have done any of that for the 3 years without him. Instrumental, just as important as I am, and I'm just as important to him. And what are you doing? You were some sound effects.
Jordan.
So big ups, props to you, sir. But and props to our fans, man. We're having too much fun with that.
This episode we got Greg Sr. on.
Yeah, we're gonna have Greg Sr. of Texas Coffee Company and also the Art Studio fame.
Yeah, and it's we had a good time sitting down with him. We talked about pottery and stuff like that. Greg's, as most anybody around here knows, he's headed up the art studio, and now he's head of the Arts Council. I think Southeast Texas Arts Council.
Something like that. We get into it.
He's the guy that's responsible for a lot of the things that have happened in Beaumont as far as the art scene is. At least he's been responsible for catering it. So he's
been here forever. He's really fostered a lot of creative. Energies and if it wasn't for him, I don't think that we would have the artistic landscape that we have.
Exactly. So we got to sit down and talk to him for a little bit, and we talked about coffee and talked about all kinds of other stuff. But if you like what you hear, hit subscribe, leave a few reviews and some comments. We want to hear your feedback.
Yeah, or don't. That's fine. We'll still be friends, maybe. And please enjoy this episode, number 19, with Greg Sr.
So I'm lucky we have a reporter who couldn't afford air conditioning. Because we keep changing the air out, so we don't have the problem air conditionings have. Keep it contained in the facility.
It's not a closed system.
You have like a big gable fan or something going on.
You get that stuff out.
Right, just bring it out. Well, I've seen a teacher, one of the teachers I had, he had air come in from the upstairs, up from the ceiling, and blow out down and go out to vents at the bottom of the the wall.
So it pushes
at
everything
the floor.
out, down.
And we're in the glass work, so it kept the smoke from getting in your face and all that. It just kind of pushed it right down. But great idea for anything. Just keep moving it down. Because usually what you do is you sweep. You have a fan up here, so you're sweeping all the dust goes past your face. That's not helping anything. You better not. I always say don't sweep. Just damp mop.
I bet you'll have to sweep all the time then.
Well, I don't sweep. I'm damp mop. But it's like wet it all down, suck it all up. And you can't even use a shop vac because shop vac the particles are so small they don't even get wet.
Yeah.
They're not caught in your water. So See, it's not the dust you see; it's the dust you don't see.
Yeah, well, yeah, and there's probably, I mean, it'll collect over time. Probably.
The dust you see is going to get filtered out by your body.
Yeah,
Like,
you'll suck it up, blow it out
yeah, your nose hairs.
Yeah,
gonna catch
right.
that.
All that cilia.
Yeah, your nose hair can catch all that.
Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and start.
Why not?
We're sitting here with Greg Busceme Sr. What's up, man?
Doing good.
Thanks
Doing
for coming. Greg is, I guess, how can you say it? You've been a major, almost a foundation in this area as far as the arts is concerned. You founded the art studio. How many years
correct.
ago?
Oh, 35 years ago.
35.
Actually, I'm co-founder with
35
my
years.
former wife, Angie. Angie, what's her last name now?
Now, yeah.
But Angie used to be Busceme.
Yeah, so you founded the art studio 35 years ago, and you've been a big mover in the area as far as like getting the art scene pumped up. You're also one of the descendants of Texas Coffee Company.
That's right.
Right. Would you be the third? I guess.
Well, actually, I'm a third generation. My sons and Carlo and Lorraine are the fourth generation in there, which is rare. You know, we're 96 years old. So
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, you've been a big staple in the community, and we're glad to have you on because we can talk about some art stuff, maybe some.
Art stuff, some coffee stuff, kind of a jack of all trades.
I love all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to coffee. So I had a guy that said, "When do you plan on retiring?" It's like, from what? I'm having fun roasting. I wouldn't leave art for the world, and you know, education kind of what I do.
Well, whenever you came in, we were talking to you, and you said that you roasted coffee this morning, and then you did. I think you taught a class or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Before you even got here.
That, so.
And I rolled out of bed this morning.
And this is also the earliest one of the this is the earliest session we've done so far.
Yeah. That defined by the fact I had pizza.
Right.
Well, yeah, we had to get some breakfast pizza.
Pizza.
So I mean, I'm hoping I don't have to. I was hoping I don't have to make a run to the bathroom because we're drinking
Coffee
French
and
press
eating
coffee and eating pizza, which are two
That was a
triggers.
surprise, I'm sure you've seen. But last night I was like, I'm gonna get a surprise. And I ran and got this French press so we could have a little French press on the table.
Hell yeah.
You know, while we're doing this.
Yeah, and during hurricanes, that's what you want to have.
Absolutely.
That'll solve a lot of problems. All you got to do is heat your water, which is not a hard thing to do.
Yeah, we had to be hurricane prepared in Southeast Texas. That's for sure.
You could probably even leave the grounds in there and steep it overnight.
Yeah, squeeze more out of it.
Squeeze more out of it.
I used to do that a lot.
You probably don't even need it to heat it up if you just let it
Use
take
half
a
the
long
water
time.
you usually would use. Maybe it'll come up. We don't want to convey that to people because we want them to buy fresh coffee all the time.
Right.
So we were earlier. We were talking about you roasting the coffee and everything, and I think that was actually the first time I ever met you was at an event at the McFadden House.
Oh yeah, we were roasting
ago,
coffee
and you were
out
roasting
there.
coffee
Right.
out there. I think that was the first time I ever met you. It was interesting. That's a
It was
little
very
factoid.
fun.
Do you have like a little portable roast?
Yeah, so it's a test roaster, and just runs like a pound at a time. We have two of them, and you can run tests. And
Kind of looks like a little concrete mixer type.
yeah,
thing.
that's all it
That's
is.
what
It
looks
spins. There's a little flame underneath it, and it just can turn the coffee over, and you
tumbles it.
You pull it out, and you match color. You keep looking at the color.
you're looking for
call
the
it a trier, and
It looks like a piece of equipment from the Industrial Revolution.
it is. It's
looks
about
very
it's
old.
probably 1930s.
Oh wow.
Roaster. Our roasters are. I know for sure we built that building in 1928, and I don't think there were any older roasters in there at the time.
Yeah.
But I think they did some improvements in the 1930s, and that's when those roasters came.
So this is a Depression era.
Yeah,
right?
and it's still. When I told a guy I have Jabez Burns R23s, they go R23s. They're all impressed. They said that's the best roaster ever in the world, and they still kind of make them look just
Those
about the
are
way.
those the big roasters, y'all?
Yeah,
have?
they're big. They run about. We drop in about 500 pounds and get about 450 pounds coming out. So it's if you make a mistake, it's a big mistake.
It's a heavy mistake.
It's a lot of bags of coffee not getting filled. Yeah. So we got to be very careful. So it's two of us. We watch each other and what we're doing. It's kind of like, you got that, I got that. You got this, I got this. You got it right bin, right coffee, right roaster, right.
Is there an art to it?
There is. We have a little more automation involved with it. But if the coffee comes out a little light, you can leave it in the roaster and let it warm up and keep cooking a little bit. Or if you wait too long, you'll burn it. And so you have to be on the money with it. But we do have machines that can help us.
You got like a timer or
Pinpoint
something
it, because
going there.
I had one old German roaster I was talking to, and he says, "Well, so when you make your grilling, when you grill beef, do you like have a timer on it? And it's like, well, no, but I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It's a little faster than when coffee goes. Like 3 seconds can make a big difference in a load of coffee. It can almost burn at that point.
I mean, what's the temperature do they run at?
The dark roast goes up to like 460, almost flash point.
Yeah.
Almost flash point. So it's like if you go a little too far, you could just have the whole thing just
burn up,
burn out. Yeah, combust. That's true. And it's all fiber, so it burns really good and for a long time. So I've seen it. It's not a scary feeling.
Oh, sure.
If out of 500 pounds, 50 pounds of that is moisture, you're
right.
Yeah.
You're losing a lot.
Yeah, it's about to combust.
It's a big old tinderbox.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And it kind of ties in with ceramics, except ceramics it takes longer, but it's still the same thing. You can't overfire, you can't underfire. You have to hit.
Well, that's a connection I didn't make because we were talking before we started recording, and you meant that's kind of your thing is ceramics,
right? That's why I got my master's.
Do you think? I mean, you grew up around coffee roasting. Do you think there was something having to do with that might have pushed you down?
It may have been. Well, I'm a pyromaniac. I'm not an arsonist. I'm a pyromaniac. But I love fire. I was a kid. I was always trying to make rockets, and I was always burning stuff and burning myself and building fires and I just love fire. I love explosives. I love things that catch, And also I was kind of a scientist kid. So I had microscope, telescopes, all that stuff.
Well, the fire is a changing of elements.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so I like to see things evolve that way. And so, coffee's the same thing. You start out with green coffee, come out with something different and wonderful tasting and wonderful smelling.
Something that gets you jazzed up, too.
Right.
Yeah.
And in ceramics, you take a bunch of ugly looking, muddy
lumps
mud
of
stuff,
dirt.
put on put the stuff on a pot you made out of a lump of dirt, and you put it in the kiln. It comes out miraculously beautiful, colorful, and sweet, and usable, and all that. And talking with a scientist a while back, and I said, well, I'm always doing a process called reduction, oxidation, and reduction. He goes, that's all science. Yeah. That's all science it is. Yeah. And I said, like changing green glaze to red glaze. He goes, that's it. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I had no idea.
You're just not.
I thought I was like alone in this, but no, there's like, that's it. Oxidation and reduction, taking out oxygen and making the glazes change. And to me, that resolved my science need because on every test I ever took in mathematics, the best I ever did was like a 3 percentile. Yeah. Not a math guy. I mean, I'm smarter than 3% of the population. So it's like not a good sign. Everything else is above average and doing good. Not huge, but good. And so my math, and almost every artist I talked to said, well, I was going to be an architect, but I couldn't get the math need, and engineering is always the math thing. And so most artists can't do the math. And so on a lot of different levels. And
well, you do the math in action, not in not in your head.
I mean, I can measure a tube and get a circumference. I take a piece of string, wrap it around it, and measure the string. I don't have to know math to do that. Right. So we find ways of doing it. So all of them used art as a means to project what they really wanted to be. Yeah. So it's kind of neat. Somebody draws a lot. Maybe.
So you wanted to play with fire, so you made.
Yeah. So I got glass blowing, metal casting, iron pourers, ceramics. And I got to, I really mostly made pots, put them in the kiln and watch them fire. Yeah.
I only want to shape this so I can watch it burn.
Well, one of my inspirations, most time I was inspired by, metal casting by, seeing an old master guy. I was watching Bonanza one time. Mine was the influence of Bonanza, and Haas was working with a guy who's making an engine block for a small car. Kind of weird.
On Bonanza?
On Bonanza, yeah. So they were like pouring this metal, trying to make a block, and they pour it, and it didn't work, and they'd break it up and pour it again, and I was fascinated by that.
It's pretty dang sophisticated.
It really is. I mean, so I got a hibachi we had, and I put a little peach can with a little bar stuck in it, and found some lead in the back room, and melted it all down.
This is when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was a kid. I was like, about 13, 12, 11, 12, 13. I don't know what. I was young. And so I'd stoke it up and melt the lead, and I'd take a, piece of like a screwdriver or something and make a hole in the ground, and I just pour it in a hole. Because that's all I ever saw. I didn't make molds or get fancy with it. And I make these like lumps of lead. I thought that was phenomenal. I play with that all the time. And I found out that people did that for 10 soldiers.
Huh. They melted lead.
They had a mold for the soldiers, and when they got beat up and all that, you just put them in a pot and melt them back down and pour more soldiers. You buy more metal and you get more soldiers. And
Well, they have a kit that you could order.
Oh,
you
yeah.
could order molds.
Yeah, this
for?
is something that most kids did. David Cargill talked about it from when he was a kid. That's what you did. You poured up your molds, and that was his influence. So it's kind of interesting. Mine was television. His was the actual process where he just got to melt, tin.
Yeah, but you
basically.
kind of got to the same.
Same
approach
thing,
by-
same influence.
Yeah,
He
10.
used 10 soldiers, and I used mine. And like he always said, that was we used it when we were kids. We had vacuum forms, which is you heat up a sheet of plastic, and you had a little die of some sort, like an eyeball or a car or something. And you flip it over, and you pump it, and it sucks the plastic down onto the form, and you have a little toy car, and you clean it up, put wheels on it, and paint it, and eyeballs,
Like
and all
Shrinky
kind of
Dinks or
different things.
something, right?
I mean, it's just what you use for vacuum form today. All these plastic things, same thing. It's a big heat up piece of metal, and it just was a great thing. It gets extremely hot, and it's probably why you don't see them, but they were the best toy because you're making toys.
Well, I mean, that's the best part is you actually get to put your hands on it and create something.
Yeah.
As
I
well
love
as
all
have
that
something to
hands-on
play
wood burning sets, and that was always neat. I wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
I just liked them. That's a difference.
I think me and Zach are probably like part of the last generation to actually have cool toys like that. Where you put stuff together. With your
whenever we
hands
were
and-
kids, they still had the catalogs in the back of the magazines, kind of thing, back of the comics, and I'm sure they still have those
Yeah, yeah.
catalogs.
Oh,
but-
yeah.
My
But
favorite
it's
used to be
kind of going to a
those,
different thing now.
My favorite
Charles
used to be,
Atlas
like,
and
the dinosaurs you would build and all that.
Yeah.
Now
We had
everything's
Charles
just screen.
Atlas buy a 38 special or buy the monkey. It fits in your hand. That was what I saw in my comic books. The Charles Atlas have a body like buy this drink. That's what
Or the sea monkeys. Get
I love
monkey
sea
kit.
monkeys.
your sea monkeys.
That was kind of a standard. We always had to have sea monkeys going.
It was a little cartoon. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna get this. It's cool. And then you
It's
get it as
just a
brine
bunch of-
shrimp, and you're like, oh wow.
That's what it is.
Bunch
Yeah.
of things floating
Actually, I was
around.
on, just as a side note, it was on, what's it called? The giant rock over by Austin. What's it?
Enchanted Rock?
Enchanted
Oh, yeah,
Rock.
Enchanted, yeah.
And we're up there, and it must have rained a while back, and we looked inside little puddles at the top of the rock. There were giant sea monkeys in there. I couldn't believe it. There's like little shrimp things.
Really?
I was like, oh my God.
Those might have been
Everybody's walking by, and
mosquitoes.
it's like, this has got to be like something amazing. So
That's. I wonder how that happened.
I don't know. It's just like, do they just, leave? I guess they dry up and they leave eggs and they.
I guess. I guess it must lay dormant
Birds,
for a really long
like
time.
frogs. Yeah, I can
Birds
say
can do
birds.
it.
And then also a lot of I mean, this is a tangent, but a lot of times
We're all
people don't understand, but a lot of ponds get filled through rain.
Right.
Like fish eggs and everything will get
Birds
picked
fly,
up. And,
pick up eggs.
that's
Yeah,
that's
if you
weird.
leave a pond to sit there, it's going to have stuff in it.
That's
Fish-
really weird to think
fish will
about.
show up.
Little
It is.
brine shrimp on an enchanted rock, though. That's really strange.
Very weird.
I think it's probably mosquitoes,
I
honestly.
love it. Could be.
Probably.
They look about the same.
There's probably mosquito larvae.
If I had a way of taking them home, I would have taken them home.
Yeah, just to find out. Huh?
I love stuff.
I'm
Like
sending these to the lab.
So I mean that's kind of what got piqued your interest in
Yeah.
into getting
I always loved stuff like that. I was always trying to see how many nails I put in a 2x4. So my dad gets so mad. What are you doing to my tools? It's like, well, I wanted to see. And then it wasn't like art you would keep or anything. It wasn't like I had an aesthetic. I
projects.
just wanted to see.
You were-
the
well,
process guy. I'm a
you're
process.
experimenting.
Well, it makes sense what you're saying about that you were into the burning and the science of it.
That's
But
right.
you didn't have the math skills. But you're experimenting. I mean,
That's right.
even beyond putting paint on a canvas or something, it's a different type of expression. It's
Yeah, it is.
it's the physical form.
Right. I like 3D stuff. And burning them.
Yeah, before people paint on canvas, they draw in the mud.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what kids
Yeah,
do.
first drawings, I guess, were in sand. And,
Yeah.
you go here, point an arrow somewhere.
Yeah.
sure.
Well, what is that? That's the Jesus fish, right?
Yeah, that is with the big toe. You draw.
That
little
you
Jesus
draw
fish,
you
yeah.
draw the half the line, and then if they were Christian, they'd finish it, and that's how it's like a secret code. So you
Oh,
don't,
I thought I have a theory about
that's one of the stories. I've
Jesus and fish.
What's your theory?
What's your
that?
theory?
There is Jesus didn't like anything that didn't blink. Because they were trying to fish on the side of the boat, and if they weren't getting any fish, and the fish are all hanging out on the other side of the boat. All of a sudden, Jesus said, "Why don't you put your nets on the other side of the boat?" And the fish were like, "What the hell, Jesus? You turned us in." Jesus doesn't like things that don't blink. He didn't like snakes. He didn't like fish. They don't blink. So he doesn't like things that don't blink. He's full of love, but as far as he goes.
So what? I guess what was
My theory is Jesus sells out to fish. That's what.
I think there's some weight to that.
There's
I
some
like
weight
it.
think so too.
what was the impetus behind founding the art studio? Like what? I guess what was there had to
What
have been
drove
some,
me,
Yeah,
right.
what there had to have been some kind of situation because you've lived your whole life in Beaumont in
Right.
Southeast Texas.
Yep.
So
And
like
so I went to graduate school
Yeah.
in Washington University, St. Louis. Very prestigious school. Very good school. I met every great ceramic artist there ever was. All the old 1950s guys.
Was that the place of
It was
ceramics
just where
in
everybody-
America?
Well, the teachers there, and of course the school is very reputable. And so if anybody, and people came in to show in St. Louis a lot. So when they did, we get them to come to WashU, do a lecture. And my job as a grad student, the only one they had, was to show them around town. So I got to spend
Oh wow!
considerable amount of personal time with them.
So you're kind of like a runner, kind of
Right, yeah,
get 'em from
whatever they
place to
need, give them
place.
their booze, get them women. No, I'm joking. Get them booze, whatever they wanted. I was their chaser and stuff like that. So, so when I applied for jobs, I didn't get one. Yeah, and I was very upset about
What a
that.
job with the school.
Teaching,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
teaching university and all that. And I figured there'd be a job out there for me. There wasn't, and then so I came back to Beaumont to kind of regroup and find out what I was doing. I'm still working for David Cargill, which is wonderful.
David Cargill is who again?
Sculptor here in town. He's about in his mid 80s now, and he'd been around since the 50s, and he made a living doing bronze casting and ceramics and windows and churches and things like that. St. Jude's Church.
There's
was
a lot of
developed
churches
by
around
him.
here for sure.
He'd been around a long
Wait, he did
time.
St. Jude's?
Yeah, in fact, I helped him do that.
Wow. Okay.
Amazing man, amazing man.
Wow.
And
I've always seen those stained glass and
Right.
everything around there. I've always wondered about.
I put a lot of blood in those stained glass.
Wow. Okay, that's
it's a-
crazy.
it's a
I've
beautiful-
Little
always
pots in the
wondered
back.
about
I did
it.
the pots. And we made all
Yeah.
the bronze castings and all that.
Yeah.
sort
There's a lot of
thing, so-
statues there too. It's a beautiful campus.
He really
Yeah.
did beautiful.
Oh, it's right down
In
the
fact, they
street.
just opened up the altar that
Yeah.
was there. They didn't. They took it out and they brought it back, and it's a brass altar. Where as you walk around it, the cross keeps reappearing
Oh
from
wow.
different directions. It's really, he's a phenomenal artist.
you gotta
And,
check that out.
You know, kind of in the modernist period. He was in New York, going to school in Cranbrook for.
So we're talking. You came back what in the 70s, 80s?
82. Yeah,
82?
I started 80, 82 was in grad school, and then I got out in 82 and came back and was trying to get jobs, but I met this lovely young lady, Angie Ralph, and we decided to get married, and she had a job at Mobil Oil, so
Yeah.
lucky me. I could go and pursue, and I said, well, if I'm living in Beaumont, I want to have a place for artists to work. That was just it. I saw that in St. Louis. I thought it was
We
great.
wanted a place for you to work, but also for
Everybody.
else.
A collective.
Yeah. 'Cause I had friends from Lamar who graduated, and we're all kind of like, "What do we do?" And it's like, "Well, let's, and I don't know, I don't know why I thought I could do it, but let's just do this. Let's just do it. Let's get a building and go." That's what they
Yeah.
did up there, and that's where it took off from.
So what was the climate like in Southeast Texas
Hmm.
for artists and that kind of scene? Like what I
Well-
mean, because it's still kind of a
Early on.
Beaumont's a blue county,
Yeah.
or Jefferson County's a blue county, or what,
Yeah,
what have you.
it
But
is Blue County.
One
But-
and
It
two.
was
yes.
blue because it's blue collar workers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're union people, and unions are Democratic, pretty much.
But I mean, it's always been kind of a conservative place, and it's
Yeah.
a lot of artists. I don't know if it was like that then, but now they want to run away from here.
Well, and they tended to. I mean, John Alexander and Paul Manus and all those guys, found a better place in New York
Yeah.
to go. Although if you talk to John now, and I've heard him lecture this, you don't need to go to New York. You don't need to go to any big city to make art. I mean, maybe theater, dance, music, all that, but visual arts you can do anywhere. He said, "You got the best place right here."
I mean, now
Stay
more
here.
now more than any time.
Yeah, I mean, you feel a lot of like we were
Yeah.
talking about around Austin. They don't go to Austin; they get in Kyle or places in the area because it's cheap to live.
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
have to be.
I feel sorry for artists that like to move to that want to move to Austin because it's
Well,
gonna
you're-
be a hard road for them.
I
'cause
know. And
the
you gotta
cost of
spend a
living
fortune.
is
You're
so
stringing
high.
yourself because you can't if you move to somewhere where the cost of living is higher and all these things, plus it's a bigger area, it takes
Mm-hmm.
more to get in. You're probably less likely
Yeah.
to get into certain viewings. All these things, you're hamstringing yourself because it's artists. The starving artist is the typical thing.
Yeah,
so why
right.
would you make it even harder to
You guys
get by?
You guys know my buddy Chance, right? You know Chance Hall?
Yeah.
You know
Oh, yeah.
Chance?
Think
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, he's a really good artist also. But he's told me before, he's confessed, he said that he hated he moved to Austin from Houston. He moved to Houston from here. And he said he wished he'd never moved to Austin because the market for art is so oversaturated there, and then the cost of living it's a battle. When
Yeah.
you could stay here and
Do good.
it's like the cheapest living Probably in Texas, I can imagine.
Pretty close.
And
As far as housing and things like that.
Yeah, you can do whatever art you're working in. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be a potter or a sculptor or a
That's
painter.
what I felt like. And I felt like, if I know it was way before Field of Dreams, and I guess somebody was asking, why do you think this will work? I said, hey, if you have a space, somebody's going to fill it.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what happens in nature. Space, there's never a void. So you create a void, then something's going to fill that void.
So you didn't really have. I mean, you had a feeling it would be fine, but you didn't really. You just kind of I just want a place to work and for other people to work, and that's it.
I just think it would work. I just felt like it was right, and I don't know why. I guess because partly I was high from grad school. It's like being on a mountain.
You were on top of the world. You could do anything.
Yeah, you're coming in, and it's like you got that whole
can't fail.
macho. I'm ready to go. We're going to do this thing, and
It's like
in fact, the nice thing was I was still working for Cargill for a couple of years, and we would talk about how the studio should be. And he, John Gordon, a couple other folks, Phil Hamlet, we're all kind of pitching about what would it be like? What if we started, what we need? And David had some great ideas. Everybody pitched in some ideas. So it kind of like incubated. And then finally got we finally got a building and, rented a space and we were starting to put things in it. We had to get things going. We have art shows and people started showing up. I mean, it was pretty amazing. A lot of family, thank God. We got a big family. A lot of family showed up, but a lot of people were just ready for that.
Was it it was a pretty quick? I mean, it's the same building that's always been in, right?
No. We were in the building now for Easton Forge's parking lot. It was there, right next to the 1032 supply on Natchez and Milam.
Okay, so that's where y'all were first.
1076 Natchez. It was like 8,000 square foot. It was an old car repair shop, a B.F. Goodrich tire company, in fact.
Yeah.
Then it became the substation, South Substation during the 30s and 40s, I think, for the post office. And then it became a place called Jackson Casket Company, where they made they
made caskets.
They made caskets and put in all the accoutrement of because you have to lay on a pillow when you're dead for some reason. I think the Western guys had it, just lay them flat in a box.
It was just pine box.
Anyway, so we thought about calling it Jackson Casket Company, kind of like Torpedo Factory and the Bemis Project and all these places, the Armory and all that sort of thing. But we thought nobody would figure it out. So so finally they called me for the nonprofit name, and I was like, I don't know. He said, well, what is it? I said, it's Art Studio. And they go, okay, bing. And so that was the thing. That was what we got.
That's how we got the
What'd
name.
y'all name it? Well, we named it the Art Studio. And they go, well, that's real creative. It's like, I was on
the creativeness is inside.
Yeah, at least nobody would be confused about it.
I know. Well, I didn't want to confuse people, so we made it very clear cut what it is.
So you had a pretty, and that was I guess it was a smaller location than you have now.
Yeah, it was 8,000. I think 40. Something like
when did y'all
that.
move to this current one? Y'all been
we
there
moved
for a
there
while.
in 92, I think. Yeah, we moved from there. It got too hard we only had room for 3 or 4 spaces. There wasn't enough room to generate money. And they were asking a lot a month. So we decided we'd leave there and go to the White House. And we found a location at the White House first floor, which is now the municipal court. So, it's kind of fun. I walk in the middle court and it's like, oh, if this courtroom could talk. So it was great. So we were there 4 years with the intent, because the guy wasn't going to sell it. He wanted to sell us the building for $325,000, which is a bad price for a big, giant 3-story building with a mezzanine and all that. But, and ultimately we were saying, well, we could go 180, 180, something like that. But he wouldn't do it. But ultimately, when he sold it to the city, $186,000. So it's I was kind of the way that works. But it's okay. It actually would have been far more for us to develop.
Right.
So we started, raising money, doing fundraisers, which was a square foot for art campaign, and we raised
square foot for art. Is that something y'all still do?
Give us about $10 a square foot. We give a little certificate with a little seal mark on it saying thank you for your, symbolic thing about your 10 square feet. So and we raised about 32,000, something like that, on that project, which I'd have to say the majority. It was like 800 donors, but the majority of that came from 2 people. Got a little noise going on. So majority came in for those two people, but we still got that money, and then we went to Meadows Foundation. They matched it and gave us a good amount of down payment on the building we have.
So I mean, whenever y'all first founded it, I mean, obviously you got a pretty good response because within a decade y'all were moving to a new building and, and getting all these other funds. Quick. So I mean, so you basically you filled a need for something that was here. Right. And created like a vacuum of art. Yeah. I guess in a way it just sucked everybody in.
Well, yeah. And when we were going to, like when I was at Lamar in the 70s before I went to graduate school, we would go to the art museum for their membership show. And, the art museum is very sophisticated now. They put on some crazy shows and really neat stuff, and it's worth seeing. Yeah. But at the time when we went to those shows, it was all basically swamp scenes, hunting scenes, agrarian, kind of local stuff,
Like folk art.
Yeah, like folk arty type of stuff. It's not very well done work, indeed, but still not very, contemporary.
Right.
And so as people influenced by Phil Fitzpatrick and Butch Jack and a variety of other people who came into Lamar at the time, they started moving, kind of this idea of like, bringing in new work. So we started joining the membership, joining the show, and putting in crazy stuff, and it tied in with Frank Garrett, Al Gaytan, and Sandy Lorette, and these are all kind of folks, Lennis Blanton, all these folks were around, in that time trying to move things forward. And then ultimately, those duck paintings got kind of put aside to one place. They didn't want to kick them totally out. But they didn't have the prime spot. Like they used to, and I think that really, made a big influence. We
just did a little guerrilla warfare there. Huh?
It was in some ways. We were kind of guerrilla in that. I mean, but I had to, Butch and Phil were that way. They're like, be like guerrillas, go in there and take it over, that sort of thing. So we did.
So you did to a point, but then eventually you probably had to do your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed a space.
So now I'm waiting for the guerrillas to come get us.
Yeah.
Which I would delight in a lot of ways, but I also know that we stayed on top of things. We kept young people coming in. We have young people coming in. So I'm not so much threatened as excited that other galleries are going to form. Maybe more people have studios for people to work in.
Well, that's right. Well, what's her name? Betty. Betty has her own
Betty
little studio.
Smith, yeah. Betty's great. Then, she's doing mural for us right now. In fact, she's got a little intermediate spot with us because she needed a place. Yeah. That's what we do. We help people incubate them.
Yeah, well, then also, Michael
Mason did plays. He did his first play and the last play with us.
Yeah,
and so we had
the play. But they have that little.
Oh, that's
studio,
right. Teresa Baker had her 215 Orleans over there. Wonderful gallery, and it's all about minimalist art.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Great. There's so much. There have been galleries that have kind of popped up in the last couple. They're doing them at Victoria House now. Your daughter's
doing that. See, that's what I hope.
And that's what you always.
I would hope for. It's like we gave them support, and we gave them kind of a sign that says this can work. Yeah. In fact, Mike and Teresa are moving away, but they're going to bigger and better things. But Caitlin Durler has taken over 215 Orleans.
Really?
So she's going to have shows and events and all kind of things. And in fact, they're going to do
is this some secret knowledge?
No, I don't think so. I think it should be out. If it's not out, it should be out because she's on. See, I'm on the inside. I know.
You got the inside.
This is why you got me here.
Kind of.
But Caitlin's doing it, and they're going to do some things with Boomtown, doing films and stuff like that. In fact, to Italian Texas Coffee, we're going to provide them with coffee and things like that for their refreshments and so it's all tied together somehow. Yeah. But I'm just. Some people say, "Why don't you worry about competition?" I say, "Dude, I've never been afraid of competition. In fact,
that's what you wanted to do.
We're all
working
you started. Together. It's not a competitive thing. Nobody's going to take anybody from anybody else. If anything, people are moving here because we have studios. Now, I've seen this over and over again. Or people are moving back to Beaumont.
I think that's the bigger thing.
Big thing. Moving back, going, oh my God, thank God.
And then the biggest thing is that people just aren't moving away like they used to.
Well, see, that was where I tied in my daughter and all their friends and millennials. Just, we're staying here. We're going to make it better than it was.
We can retain people now. Yeah. People don't feel the urge to have to move to go.
Create your own fun.
You've probably seen, being at the art studio for 35 years, having that like space that's been what it has been this whole as I guess like the almost like the leader in the art community in kind of a way.
In some ways.
And you've probably seen waves of people influx creativity. Like is this are we kind of like at a different place than we
Yeah.
used to be?
Well, this is like
Is it
like
better?
you say, it's
You
very
seem-
much like a tide
Yeah.
coming in.
You
It-
seem
it-
to be on an uptick for
Right,
for,
exactly.
Yeah, you guys
And-
you guys just annexed that other building right beside the art studio,
right, which was the first art for art. I know that the Beaumont Community Players got their the Cinema 6, I think it was, that when they moved away from Terrell Park, they had a little place at Terrell School.
Oh, was
for
it
a
that
long time.
building over here?
Yeah, the one where the theater
they used to be a
is right
cinema?
now. They moved over there. They kind of, well, it's kind of a little history thing, but they were given to Jefferson, and they had the Zaffers building. Which was
What?
the Jefferson Theater.
BCP had Jefferson?
They didn't have it, but they used it, were able to access it, and they were going to give them the Zaffer building for construction, all that. And then somewhere in like a few months later, it seemed like it may be a longer time, but suddenly they decided the Zaffers building needed to be the Energy Museum.
Yeah.
This is a time when I'm begging for money, and they said,
Yeah,
"We don't
yeah.
have any money. We don't have any
Well,
money.
well, I
we have
mean-
nothing. Please help us get the studio started." And then suddenly they build a $750,000 Stafford building. I'm just picking on the city a little bit because they just
Well,
really
no,
bumped us.
we try to pick on the city as much as we can.
Right. So I was like, well, where'd that money come from? How did that happen? So we're just going to build this. Bink, air goes up. Here we are, like, just
Yeah.
roughing it in these little places. So that's when I decided we really just need to do our own thing, But anyway, they moved them out and said, okay, well, we're not going to give you the Zaffers building. We're not going to give you the museum. Y'all can have the school in BFE just about near Cheek,
Yeah.
like
wow,
past
yeah.
the Terrell Park.
Right.
Until it's a little dirt road and all. And they survived that 10 years. They had crowds come out, people showed up. And I really, Jerry McMillan did an amazing job of maintaining that, keeping the funding going. And then finally, I don't know how they acquired the building of the theater. When the theater closed up, they acquired it and have done just great guns. And that's tough, and it's kind of like what a lot of organizations have to do. You're kind of on
Betty
your own.
Greenberg now.
Yeah, Betty Greenberg was like a big part of that. She's like,
Yeah.
let me get that. And so what we're doing at studio is kind of hoping for a Betty Greenberg. we have never had a Betty Greenberg.
You're kind of getting there.
We're getting there. We're getting
was
there.
it last year? Was whenever the grants?
We just got swamped by grants, and
Yeah.
so Harvey helped, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
opened some doors for us to go to grants, show that we respond properly, do a great job, and then maybe next year they'll look at us again and say, "Well, you did good this time."
Well, I
So-
mean, whenever you started, you were almost kind of a counterculture in a conservative area.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
you probably didn't get much help, but it seems like maybe
rumors.
people. I guess the old white hairs are out,
right.
or they're going out, and then the people.
I'm the white hairs now.
Well, I didn't.
I mean,
that
that
wasn't a
I don't know.
personal-
I'm happy
but-
to be there. I've been
but
waiting.
you were
I've
you
been
were
waiting for this.
The
Waiting
people
for a
in
long
charge.
time.
The people in charge are. I guess it's a newer generation. They understand these things. Also, you're not just some counterculture hippie, obviously, but you've been in this area
Well,
your whole life. Yeah, you were, but you still are, I think.
So
but-
I started studio at 28,
yeah.
29. Just same, it's like what's going on now with the millennials right now. I was the upstart. They'd be like, well, we heard stories about him, and half of them are true. Most of them are. And so, here I am now, and still half of them are true.
Elder
Most of
statesman.
them aren't. But the thing about Tide, it comes in waves. You have a calm time where you're just maintaining,
Yeah.
and then there's this stuff. Somebody just decides you're kind of wonderful, and you ride that wave as far as you can. And right now we're on a wave, and I'm jumping, and everybody's
you're
like,
hanging
"What are you
10.
doing? You're acting crazy." And it's like, "Yeah, well, this is
You gotta
this
grab-
is
you
my
gotta
time.
grab-
This is my
yeah.
last."
That's the time of growth.
Yeah,
That's-
and I'm getting old. It's like I gotta jump it when I can. I wanted to get
you gotta be an opportunist.
right exactly, and I want this place to be established, strong, survive, and that's why we're doing like strategic planning meetings for the next 20 years and what we're going to do, what's the future, and set that out for people to see that we aren't just
Well, you
gonna,
kind of, and you also have to set it up for whenever you're not here anymore.
right.
And not
Exactly.
trying to.
Oh no,
call that out,
I
but-
think about that all the time. I already had 2 heart attacks.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them I really almost died from. So it's like, so everybody kind of went, "Oop, what do we do?"
Yeah.
It's like, well, you guys need to think about that, and so do I. So it's understandable.
Well, it's good that you're seeing that because there's a lot of organizations that get started up by and it's like one person's the guy,
Right.
And then, but
It needs to be a lot of people.
The problem happens is whenever they don't
Right.
disseminate the duties,
Right.
And then whenever they pass or anything happens, then the
Nobody knows.
Or they
organization
just get
disappears.
tired of it, and quit.
That too, and
Well,
then
what happened? It's like we don't know what to do. We're leaving. So that's why my process has been over the past 10 years is just say, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, and I need to like talk to people and go to things like this, and yak it up. And I should walk in saying, what are we doing today? That's what I want. What are we doing today? And it's like, nothing. Okay, I'm going back and work. That's what I want to get back to. But right now, there's so much happening, and it's so exciting. And I love that we're getting responses. We actually got a Pollock Krasner Foundation. Now, they've given to places in Texas, but they don't come this far south very often.
Yeah.
And so we hope to build a relationship with them because they fund nonprofit arts organizations. So, art spaces. So it's like really kind of a made for us thing. We're just not in New York. So it makes a big difference. So it's exciting.
But, you have some historical clout, though.
Yeah, we do. We actually are. Yeah, we have some major artists who come through here and came through Beaumont, Jim Leedy and others, some of the old guard, artists. And he said, this is one of the best non-academic studios we've ever seen.
Non-academic?
Non-academic. Yeah. We're not part of a university. And that even more so because we're independent. We aren't city-based. We're based on ourselves. We're the only arts organization,
non-affiliated.
Non-affiliated group, doesn't have any kind of no visible means of support, like a, Playtex bra, which is kind of, that was always a big problem. No visible means of support.
Which is really good because you're not beholden to anyone either.
Exactly.
Yeah,
well, I like that part because we talked about we part of the city, and I thought, well, they're going to tell us what we can and can't do.
You have to play ball with them or with the university. Well, yeah. If you're part of Lamar, you'd have to. They'd be upset about some things we've done, and some things we'll continue to do. We can put on things we want to do, and we can put on, if I wanted to bring in Annie Sprinkle, I can bring her in, Thought about it. Thought it was really funny. But, so it's kind of great, But I was lucky enough to have the support, the support of the community. A wife who had a great job, the community jumping in. I think it really kind of started our wedding party was, we got married like February 4th, and then we had a party the week later, which is actually Valentine's Day, which kind of works out really good. In fact, she always thought it was our wedding anniversary. And so we threw a blowout party. Beer kegs and everything, music, and it was all going. So everybody kind of got there for the first time to introduce this building to everybody. And from that point on, we kind of threw our band openings like a beer. We'd have a keg of beer.
Yeah.
We had kegs of beer all the time. And we
just still do that, huh?
Well, we
maybe not kegs.
All our drinkers kind of passed away. So so we don't have to go so far on the beer anymore, and we kind of cut back. Well, it used to be pretty cheap. Now it's kind of gotten expensive, and they weren't floating them, so I quit buying them. So that was it.
It's BYOB. It's BYOB now at band nights.
Yeah, band nights always because we charge at the door.
Yeah,
we can't serve beer unless
of course
we have
not. Well, you're not in a bar. You're an art studio.
Yeah. So during the opening, since it's free to come in, we can serve beer and wine because we're not. It's not a matter of morality or anything. It's a matter of money. If you're charging the door, it means they're buying liquor from you. If you haven't licensed, it means you can't sell.
Right.
But if you give it away, you can give away food or anything like that all you want.
That's right. Yeah,
when you charge for it, the health department shows up. But otherwise, you can give people like a rancid meat and all you want. Who cares? Kind of fun about health department. It's not really health department. It's the money. The permit department. Really.
Yeah,
so that's what. Well, I love the health department. They're good people. They're good people.
Yeah.
Nobody get mad at me about that.
I've dealt with the health department probably more than most people I know.
I know. Oh yeah.
He's got that food truck. Food truck fun.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, I guess we'll call this part one. We'll take a little break and regroup.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Oh, hey there, Zach. You look like something's on your mind.
Why are you acting like that right now?
I'm just trying to figure out how to tell people we're looking for advertisers.
Yeah, but you're doing that weird voice, and, we can just talk to them like normal.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, A to Z Podcast has an ever-increasing number of listeners. If you have a business, an organization, or just simply an event, and you'd like to reach an audience that is far more engaging than radio or local TV,
and a lot cheaper,
email us at feedback@atozpodcast.com, and let's work together.
Now it's never coffee's good for that.
The French press gets like a lot of the caffeine out, I think.
Oh,
I feel like it gets more.
It extracts a lot.
It's
When you
just
get a
sitting
stronger cup, you can do that with a drip, and it doesn't do the same.
I think it's like a smoother. It's a smoother high we're working with right now.
That's right, a buzz.
Okay, well we're
I'm
back.
a coffee addict, I'll tell you that.
We're back with Greg Sr. I guess maybe we can talk about what's going on now with the art studio. What y'all we're talking outside. Y'all have like a lot of grants that are coming through,
Right.
it seems like they're more
Time
available.
of growth.
Yeah.
Right, it's our growth time. Well, first thing when you walk in the door, you'll see instead of a termite-eaten
Yeah, you guys
wall,
just remodeled.
we just remodeled dropped in a header and have the glass wall.
Oh,
and all
well, I
that.
don't think I've seen that yet.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You'll love it. It's just glass. It's like the front door is big glass and aluminum, and big wide door coming in, 36-inch doors. We have accessibility for people to come in. We have some people who, I've had a guy drive up, heard we had a lift coming. We have a handicap lift coming in, a chair lift. And so when it should be coming in pretty soon, and we'll be in hopefully by the next opening, it'd be great. And so we're trying to accommodate that. We haven't been able to. And what happened was I kind of met one of my new residents over there, and turns out his wife's in a wheelchair. And I looked at my board and I said, "This is time. We have to do this."
Absolutely.
And of course, that's where our great fundraiser got out there and nailed us $20,000 to put the lift up. Lift itself costs like $9,000, and it takes another couple of thousand
Well, to
put
install
it,
it, get the
so
electricity.
it's like $12,000
for it.
just to get that in. Then we have some ramping to do, which isn't that big a deal. And I got some people to help on that.
Well, that's good though. It's just making it more accessible.
So that was our first thing. Getting the ramp in, the lift is another thing to get it more accessible. We're also improving some of the office areas. So we're going to take out my office. We have a little hallway there that's in the way of everything. We're going to change that into an open space to give more room for a sales gallery we're going to put up front.
Okay.
That'd be really good for your residents, I think.
Yeah, that really is helping. They need it, and they're
Yeah.
very productive, and it's a good idea to kind of show people. Say, "Well, what do you got here?" And we don't have anything. It's all in their space. Then we'll go talk to them and go look around. But it'd be nice to have a showcase.
A little showcase.
Of that. Now, the other thing I'm doing is expanding our library, because most people don't know we have one, but we
I
have
didn't know you
quite
had
an
a library,
extensive
yeah.
library. Library.
It's a library.
A library.
Is it like art books?
Art books, and it was given to us by Bob Willis. It was his collection,
Wow.
and he was one of our residents. He was an engineer at Mobile and one of the big benefactors of our moving there.
Yeah.
And about November, we moved in December, like October. In November, he passed away.
Oh wow.
And so when we got there, he said, he had willed certain things to the art museum, some things to Dishman, and us with all the ceramics he had, which is extensive. Between 1965 and 86, he collected lots of ceramics. There's some of my stuff, a little bit of every potter I've ever met. So he's pretty well collected, and all of his books. So we got in there. Well, it's a lot of books. It was like 200-300 books. So
Might as well make a
almost all
library.
that. Yeah, they had a library. And so what we're going to do is extend across in that room where the food is. We're going to extend across that back wall and just make another 15 feet of shelving. Yeah. And that's going to take up our archive, which is all over the place, our magazines, it's all over the place. And 35 years magazine, 35 years newspaper, 35 years invitations, all that
So
stuff.
you're trying to expand and tighten.
Yeah, so we're getting those updated and put into catalogs and all that. So we have a pretty decent history of every show we've ever done.
Yeah.
And that really is helpful, because I look at
I'd really like to go see that.
it's really fun. I mean, you going through, people say, well,
Not just the art shows, but the band shows as well.
Oh, yeah. Well,
some
band
old
nights we
pictures.
haven't done as well, although Olivia's done a pretty good of archiving the posters.
Yeah.
From early on. We have some June Sun and Train in Vain and stuff like that. But I had a guy come in the other day who actually does metalworks, and he was one of the first bands that ever played at the studio when we said you had to play original. Because at first it was just anybody play anything.
Yeah.
And we said, well, wait a minute. Artists don't come in and do Picassos or imitate Van Goghs. Why are y'all coming in and playing other people's music?
Yeah.
Play your own music. And they were all freaking out. I mean, I was when Jake Hooker was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
My son was a baby.
Yeah.
And so it's like, y'all write your own stuff. No covers. And it was like, what? So they come in like with like 3 chords. They're like, we're going to make this up as we go.
Yeah.
And to get
3
up there
chords and
and
the truth.
twang away, and it's great. But as time went, they said, well, now I got some. I got 3 songs. And so we let them play 3. And we'd have like 6 groups come up 3 at a time, 3 songs each. But now kids come in with the idea that's standard.
Yeah.
That's what you do, Beaumont. Write your own music.
Yeah.
So they come in pretty sharp. I mean, what you used to hear is like, oh my God, when are they going to learn to sing or something? But now it's like bringing in violins and, rap and all kind of other different approaches to music. And, sometimes not any music at all. It's like a cappella stuff. Amazing. And so people say, well, why people don't want to go, or the older folks don't want to go. And it's like, did you want to see the Beatles when they started out? Did you want to see ZZ Top when they want to start? You want to see Edgar and Johnny Winter?
Yeah.
This is when you see them start.
Yeah.
This is it. Why are y'all not coming to here? But you'll go all the way across to Houston to hear somebody you never heard of before, or somebody you heard about.
Yeah.
Who's already, okay, so you heard about him. So it's done.
That was probably
That's
a
over.
frustrating thing
Very much
running
so.
an art studio because
Right.
people don't want to come see the
Yeah,
art.
because what you see is the fans of that person show up.
Yeah.
And which is great, schools, parents, family, and all that, which is I would love everybody to really be a part of that and have those families see that people support music.
Yeah.
It's really important for them. It's like, sometimes we have individual shows, same thing with art shows. It's like, and just the family shows up. People say, well, it's just one person.
Right.
It's like, well, this is the most important show for these people.
Yeah.
One person show is a hard thing to put together, and it's a major effort, and they put their whole life out for it, and nobody shows up because it's not a lot of people, or we're not in it, or I never know what I don't understand the psychology of that, and I'm not quite figured out how to get people there. I just beg, please. It's like a one person show. Please show up. We need people there. I don't want to see the family and that's it. And
Yeah.
Grandma's got to leave early, and we just sit on the porch and talk. I mean, it's like the saddest thing in the world. So y'all do it. Y'all keep in mind. Y'all come out to those shows. Y'all come see them. This is where we support artists, is give them a sense that maybe this might be something for them to do. And you're going to see something you never saw before. It's not, no repeats. Never been shown. Premiere shows always.
So you're expanding the studio for sure, but you're also doing some work out in the community now, right?
Oh, definitely.
Well, I mean, you
we're doing a
probably
mural
always have.
project. We got the mural project going on with the CVB.
Yeah,
Convention
I'm
Visitor
pretty.
Bureau.
Well, I mean, are you tied into the whole thing where they're painting the electrical boxes too?
No, that's through Virginia Jordan, and the
City
Civic
Council.
Center is with Lenny Caballero.
Wait, are they painting the Civic Center?
Well, they're doing what do you call it?
I call it a selfie spot.
Yeah, selfie spot. Basically, it says a
what
little
that mural
sign,
was,
and you
yeah.
met there. And all
Beaumont's not sad. Is that what I was going to say?
that. Yeah, right. I love that sign. We're one of the saddest cities in the world, but we're all having a good time.
Yeah.
So our
what are
murals
some
are.
of these, what are some of these murals you're working on?
Well,
or
we
you're
got
doing or
about 7
facilitating?
artists right now who are going to pop up murals.
Is
Got everything
Chris,
from
is
like
Chris one of them? Presley?
Yes, he is. He's
he
doing
work-
one of his storks on the Beaumont Club wall on Orleans side, on the back side.
Awesome.
It's going to be
That's
great.
cool.
I love his stuff.
I like
I do
In
too.
fact,
I
he's
do
the
too.
new
He's a good
resident
friend
of
of
the
ours.
studio. He got a studio space now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had moved like 5 people out to the other building, and so we had 5 studios.
How
available.
many do you have? How many spaces available do you have right now, if any?
See, we have done well. We might have one coming up. Might be
You might have one
in a couple
available,
of months, but generally we're always full.
Yeah,
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, and when I tell people, if you want the next space open, you better get up there and get an intermediate and start working.
Oh yeah.
And if
yeah.
you're only upstairs waiting around for, working in general space, waiting for a space to open, you're next.
so you have a general space.
Yeah, we have a general space. The intermediate means you're kind of like in a school. You come in, you work, you put your stuff back in your locker or in your shelf,
I
and you
gotcha,
come back
yeah.
out. And
But if you have your own space,
access.
you leave it.
Yeah, you get all the money deals with the good prices on everything, and you'll be considered part of the residency. So you'll be on the membership show, or the resident show. And you get a key to get in, you get all that stuff. So it's like, main thing is try to say, only thing you don't have is a spot. And sometimes people split a space. Somebody may have a little trouble or don't really need all that room.
Yeah.
And they'll say, come on in. Most of our clay spaces are doubled up. We only have 6 downstairs. We have 11 upstairs and then 5 in the other building. So it's, what we'd like to do in the future is, of course, between our current building and the new building is add a larger clay studio.
In between, in that big yard
in
area?
that big yard. We got 125
Golly.
feet. We can make a very
Yeah.
big building with 10 studios for clay instead of 6, and a separate building for clay mixing, chemicals, glazing, all that.
You put a
sort
good
of stuff.
ventilation system
Yeah,
on the other
and
one.
then
so-
rebuild kilns and all that to match what's going on there. And then the space that was the clay studio, performance space.
yeah.
So we can have band nights, music events, theater productions, all kind of things. Maybe the whole building. Maybe do it in sections. So one half maybe a theater production, one half maybe where we do band nights or another music venue or a play or a bar mitzvah or whatever.
Is this something that y'all are going to be working on soon?
Well, I'd say soon in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
soon. That's
but
soon.
That's soon. Yeah.
that's pretty quick.
For something that big, yeah.
Yeah, we get our architect line it up, start putting word out, talking to foundations, because that's going to be 300,000 to 500,000, maybe more.
Yeah.
project. So it's
yeah, but like we were talking about, you're on a wave, so you might as well go for broke,
yeah,
right?
she get, I've dreamed before. I don't mind having dreams. The back building, there was a big metal building. We had that for 7 years. Tried to do something with it, couldn't. Sold it, paid off our building, moved on. So we can, we bought and paid, sold things before. So, it's like, what happens if that building didn't go and didn't make enough money for us? Well, we'll put it up for sale and reaccrue, pay our note back and go back to square one.
Yeah. So you have a general space and you have resident spots and all that. Do you have classes that are open to the public?
Yes, we do.
I know that the only one I know is the life drawing class.
Life drawing. We have a poetry group that meets every third Thursday. We actually a hula hoop group just started last Friday. Every third Friday.
Making hula hoops or hula hoop dancing?
Doing hula hoop.
Oh, that's pretty
Great
cool.
fun. I was in on it. Had fun.
Yeah.
But, and also I do clay classes. We're also doing a year-round children's class, and it's called Studio Art Basics, Essential Knowledge for Children.
Are all these free,
that's really
or
cool.
they have like...
There'll be some cost to them. We're trying to make them, and also we're working. And so that one we're having in young art educators coming in to kind of ply their trade. And getting them in to start classes of things they have an interest in and be named off. We've got Virginia Jordan who's going to come in. And Virginia Johnson, I'm sorry. Gonzalo Alvarez is another one who did amazing graphic designs and have set up this kind of didn't get to see it, but it was an amazing kind of computer game about.
That's right. The border crossing.
Border
game.
crossing,
Wow,
exactly.
okay.
So he's really great, and so he wants to show them a lot of neat stuff.
Get that guy.
And
I read
Grace
that in
Chadwick,
Cat 5,
who just was in last Cat 5, had amazing work, and it's of course about issues that she's dealing with, and I think she's very brave to go out and try to bring this to kids. So she'll do painting, he'll do graphic design. Virginia will be in drawing, and it's just basic stuff, not necessarily you're going to go home and say, "Mom, look what I did today."
It's a one-on-one class.
Right. It was and we'll have like up to 10 kids in the class, and studio's going to fund the material.
It's that spark.
Yeah, and the artist gets paid. The teacher gets paid for doing the class.
And it's probably a lot cheaper than Taekwondo.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we're trying to make it, and same thing we're doing with. We just got in contact with Girls Haven and contact with Buckner's Children's Village, and they want to start programs with us as well. So we'll either somehow integrate them into the basic arts program, or we'll just have our own little program with them. Because Buckner's, they have the kids 30 to 90 days, 15 to 90 days, so they're going to turn over, change out over time. So we can almost have them just kind of come in steady, do clay, do drawing, and I'm going to do with them, clay and drawing, until we can get more teachers involved, and we're bringing in people who are going to help pull that together. Joanna Hyatt's going to it's been a big help so far with the Texas Art Education Association and bringing in teachers from that. And Kelly Murphy just retired, was one of our residents back when she was 19 years old, and is now retired from teaching at Vidor Junior High for 30 years. And I'm going to give her a couple of months off. I'm telling you. Oh, you got to tell me. I said, "But come on over here." So let me rest a little bit. It's like, who got time for that?
Yeah, right. Educator can't rest.
We got time for that kind of thing. So anyway, I'll give her time to rest. She must, and then we'll get her in here and start working. So administratively, we're going to shift around a little bit. And
well,
y'all
are, man.
It's exciting. It's just so exciting. I'm an old fart, and I'm still loving it. I'm just loving this.
Has it always been like this? Has there always been things popping like that?
Well, it does. I mean, it ebbs and flows. Like I said, we just hang for a while, and things get quiet, and we're just like sitting around drinking.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's kind of like you remember the Godfather. They all had lay low. They're playing cards and making pasta.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that. Yeah. we ain't got no money. We're just trying to hang in. We're just paying our rent, paying the bills. But there's nothing, there's nothing big coming up. And then suddenly, boom, it all hits.
Well, with the murals,
start killing people
with the murals and with the outreach, with the teaching for Buckner's and all that stuff, is like it seems like there's a lot more external factors. That
we used to do that when storms and the economy dropped and all that, and all kind of things happened. It basically it dropped those programs out. So I called back and said, let's go. Let's start this up. And see, the other couple of things are going on. I'm president of the South East Texas Arts Council, which funds everybody. Why did I do this to myself? I don't know, but I love it. I mean, I've been on the board for them for quite a while, and they were looking for a board member. I wasn't there. Yeah. So I got the job. So, so I've got a lot of talking points that I think we need to push to help if they want. and also in the cultural district side, which is a thing funded by the state.
Is
It'd be a lot of money.
Is that the mural thing?
Well, the cultural district really is big about, like, somebody wants to start a theater, that they could apply to a cultural district and get hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
So it's a big money going from the state. Now, the state had money designated. They pulled it back. So, with the governor we have and all that, it could be challenging. But I think, so we're establishing now our nonprofit status for that and getting funding and things like that to get it started so we can start funding through the state more projects like this. And so that's an exciting thing. So it could mean our expansion for the additional clay studios and all that could be, move forward pretty quick.
Right.
But, the city's pushing that they need arts downtown. They want people to be drawn downtown by art. At the same time, they're cutting funding from the Southeast Texas Arts Council, who funds the organization.
The city is?
Yeah. I mean, the city, the county, the state, the county's not really involved. The city, the state cut us back because we don't have 500,000 people we serve. We only serve 320. So guess the two categories, 500,000 or 10,000. So we get moved down to the 10,000 category because they don't want to fudge anymore, what they said, which is kind of code for me to say we only want the money to go to the larger cities.
So Southeast Texas Art Council is
it's a funding agent.
But it's considered it's getting the grants or funding for what would be considered a 10,000 population. Right. Really?
Yeah. That's
really?
insane.
Seems
it's
like there should be an
what's wrong with
intermediate,
250,000? Why wasn't there a third category in there? Why?
Or 100K. Yeah.
Right. Anything. We have 320,000 people we serve. We have three counties. Very few organizations just do their own city.
Yeah.
We got, three major cities and three counties. So.
You been trying to fight that?
Oh, yeah. I'm into it. But now trying to change government is going to be a while.
Right.
It's going to be over several, 5-10 years.
It's a longer stroke.
But we can try to get the city to kind of like put their mouth with, money where their mouth is. And they want arts in downtown, but they don't want to give anybody any kind of break to do it.
No, it's for exposure, Craig.
Yeah, I know. And of course, they also.
Hey, don't worry about getting paid. You're going to get some good exposure.
Yeah, right. That's always about exposure because we love to be exposed.
It's like you're starving artists, right?
Right. Yeah, we don't go anything. Well, it's like they keep saying, like Soho. Well, Soho was like an abandoned part of the city, and people just squatted it pretty much. Just like, just fix it up and you can stay there. And that was the deal. And so you did, and you got there. But then when things got going good, they'd move you out and put another repertory theater or a larger group or something like that. So the artists were actually pushed out like
that's gentrification, basically.
Yeah, it's that gentrification, which is the basically the Texas Main Street project. Yeah. And now they say, well, we don't plan on moving people out. It's like, until the value of the property goes up.
So the whole beautification of Beaumont is based in a larger statewide
drive.
Yeah,
with everything going. Yeah.
See, I thought somebody just got hip in Beaumont, but maybe not.
Well, they are getting hip.
They are getting hip.
Well, it's about tourism. They want to bring people in.
We're working on a little bone to pick with the city government, so we're kind of slowly building that up a little bit.
Good, fight that fight.
Well, I'm not gonna fight anything. Maybe we'll just talk about it.
Yeah,
I think if we call them out enough, and if we put enough episodes out, eventually word will get out.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's my argument. It's like you're cutting off the organization that funds artists.
Yeah.
That funds organizations to put theaters in downtown, to put spaces, open galleries. And if you're not going to do that, what are you pushing money for?
Well, the money's going to go toward the administration for. It's going to go toward the bureaucracy for not funding any artists. You're going to fund people to not fund artists.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're kind of transferring money from the Arts Council to other groups who are supposed to be promoting. But if you have nothing to promote, why are you asking us to come down and then say, well, we're going to have to bring artists from other places because y'all won't come downtown? It's like, wait, you got to give us impetus. You give us a reason for being here. So that's my argument with the Arts Council and saying, not with them, but for them, is that, if all you have to do is let us occupy space down there. And I also said, when y'all have a convention, tell us about it. Who's the group? What are they doing? Let us know 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of time. We'll say, hey, when y'all get in Beaumont, we'll open our galleries up and you can come by and have a tour. Yeah. I mean, during the day, if you have all these people who are like spouses, have nothing to do while they're in meetings, come to the studio. I'll do a little clay workshop with you guys. We'll do a little drawing group. We'll do something. We'll show you around. And then whenever you go home, we'll get your addresses. We'll box up your pots. We'll send them to
So
you.
it's the lack of communication.
Yeah,
Right,
that's all it
exactly.
takes.
I think so
That's all it
too.
takes,
And
just a
if
little
they
Well,
get
see,
us,
these different councils and organizations, they don't really talk to each other.
yeah, well, they need to. Well,
And-
especially
enter,
with everybody's they're all fighting for the same money.
Yeah.
So we need to expand that. And hot money, which is hotel occupancy tax, easy for me to say, is the money they're kind of fighting for. Hot money, and that's and the hotels want it to go toward tourism because they get tourists in and all that, and they get hotel rooms. But if they would direct that money to the Arts Council to go to individual artists or individual organizations, then they would get all the things they want, which is repeat business.
Yeah.
You make it a cool place to come to, they'll come back.
Right.
Oh, honey, we're going to Beaumont. I want to go there. There's 2 people in a room instead of 1. And they'll be doing stuff and buying things and picking up art. And every year they'll say, well, let's go back to
this
Beaumont.
is the thing we were talking about with Tees is that you you have to diversify. We have the big ticket here. We have good bird watching. We got a lot of things that are really cool in this
There's a lot
area,
of really cool things,
but you have to have more than just one thing.
Right.
You
gotta
can't have
a lot of
tourism. You can't have tourism in a city with no downtown.
stuff. Right. And more importantly to me than
Not
tourism.
effective tourism.
I mean, people come in tours, they talk about the baseball games and all that and how important those are. Those people come and go. When you have arts, like art studio and art museum and things like that, especially places people can participate in, they move here. When corporations look for a place to settle their company down in, they look at the arts first. I mean, I don't care what you say, parks, arts.
Your employees need to have something to do.
Exactly.
Or they won't work for you.
And they see culture
We've
as
been on that
art as
soapbox
part
for
of
a
it.
little while.
I know, this is a very important part. But people always say, well, that's great. We ought to do that. And, of course, then they turn around and want to direct their money to something that's not quite that,
Because
everybody wants to, they were looking at how they can get a piece of that pie. I understand that because everybody would love to. I
fighting
think
for money
people
for-
need to
yeah.
get over the money thing and just get what needs to happen. Then money will come.
there's a community aspect too, and
Yeah.
I hate to sound like a broken record because I've said it before, but if you just go across the river and look at Lake Charles is popping right now.
Yeah, yeah.
You go downtown,
Lafayette, Lake Charles,
yeah,
they've
their
always had
downtown
it.
is popping. If you go on the art walk they do, have you been on the art walk?
Yeah.
There's at least 7,000 people downtown on the art walk.
Everybody's
And the
hanging
streets
out.
are packed.
Right.
And it's a community thing, even more than it is just like these little ancillary sort of stuff. But they're down with it. The whole
Yeah.
community is, and for us to actually grow, I mean, you can get hot money, you can get funding from all these other stuff, but really, like to grow like
Start
that,
your own thing.
You got to get the community down.
Well, I have
like
to say
people
that-
got to want to party and
Right.
get together. and-
Enjoy your time. And that's what we saw at Crockett Street, but that's a whole nother subject, but just let that go for right now.
Yeah.
But, it could be better utilized as far as I can say.
There's I mean that's kind of the
they have to get out of
marker
their own way.
Yeah,
the,
it really
the marker for this whole town and area, I think, has been getting like I said earlier, the old white hairs getting the conservatives, getting the people
Right.
out of their
Moving.
way.
Get them out of the way and go.
Get them out of the way. Let the younger generation come up because it's this area. I mean, we're a hotbed for arts and for very creative people and very
And
industrious
there's a
people.
lot of artists. I mean, people come to visit. I mean, a lady came in just the other day, came from Colorado. She's just tickled to be here. She's like, this is just amazing. And she came in the studio and she was just thrilled. She goes, I will be back. And it's like, this is the best place. I'm going home, get all my stuff, and I'm heading back. I mean, I hear that all the time. Here's a studio space.
Yeah.
A guy worked on one of the fleets over here, or not the reserve fleet. And he came from Washington State. And now he moved in, made Beaumont his hometown.
Yeah, because he
loved
had a space.
Yeah, he got a space at the studio. He comes off the boat. He works over there all the time. He's with the Society of Creative Anachronism at the studio, and they go out and camp and have stuff, and make swords and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just he just found a life here, and people do that.
But
Because,
even more so than people coming here and finding that it's a great place, but it's people leaving and keeping people from leaving.
that's right. And if it's a cool town to live in, why would you want to go? And that's why I see it too. It's people have a. It's an important place. It's a place where people feel like they can be energized, and folks who just came into Mobile Oil because of all the expansion, they're showing up and they're coming in and joining our board and want to be a part of this activity. It's one thing to bring them in, but it's another thing to make them stay. Get them to stay and have them want to stay. So that's an important part, and I think the arts have a big job there. And like I said in the beginning. when I came in '84 and asked for my first grant to the Arts Council, they laughed. He told me about it later, like 10 years later. He said, Greg, let me tell you something, man. David Hitt and
He didn't take it
Barbara
seriously,
Davi.
I guess, at all.
No. They said, oh, it's this little hippie guy walking in here, long hair. And he's like, we want to start a studio space, and they'll be here forever. And, they said, well, just give them $5,000, and we'll never see them again. You know, and so they did. And next year, it's like,
been up their
thanks
ass
for
for
that
35 years.
$5,000. How about a little bit more? And I never missed a date until maybe 2008, I think.
Y'all got any more of that arts funding?
Yeah, yes, I take a little more of that, and so we've never not gotten an Arts Council grant from that point on, and without that, we probably wouldn't have made it. I mean, it was made the difference in our survival and our ability to expand.
Is the Arts Council?
Arts Council,
that you're
Southeast
now the
Texas Arts
president
Council.
of.
People don't.
So
join
they were joking at you, and now you're running the place.
I know. I love it. He had to tell me. He said, "I got to tell you, man, this is like." And I think that's one of the great success stories about what we did because we were. I talk to kids all the time when I go to schools. It's like. It's not so much talent, it's perseverance.
Yeah.
You just got to keep going. You don't give up. And I tell my Uncle Charlie's story. I have an Uncle Charlie Collada, my great uncle. He stood in as my grandfather because I lost a grandfather a long time ago. And I was talking about my pottery, and I've been doing it like 5 or 6 years. And I said, I don't know about this, Uncle Charlie. I don't know if I really should keep going. He goes, if you stop now, you never know how far you could have gone.
Right.
And I went, God damn it.
That's true.
You're right. I got to stick with this. And, it just, gave me that whole thing about perseverance. Don't give up and don't think this is the end of anything. Just keep going. And so I tell kids that all the time, especially babies. And I talked to a guy like 28, 29 years old not too long ago. And I said, he said, I think you were in my class when I was in 4th grade. I said, yeah, I think it was. What, long ponytail? He said, yeah, it's you. So it's like, yeah. He said, I said, did you remember anything I told you? He said, you told me never give up. He said, I stuck with that all my life. He said, things like that. It's just like, my life is complete. Yeah. I don't know how many thousands of kids I saw, but I'm sure a couple hundred out of them.
So
maybe remember what I said, paid off,
Yeah.
But that's, that's kind of that's all the fringe benefits of having the studio, all the things I didn't expect to happen, like being a part of schools and educating kids. And, I didn't really think of that when I started. I just wanted a space to work.
Well, I mean, I think
the schools
that
brought it up to me.
That'd probably be a good. I mean, I think that'd be a good point to wrap it up on because
I think so.
I mean, I really want to thank you for having on because you're a big reason that a lot of us can do the things that we do. Not that we couldn't have anyway, but you've been such a huge
trailblazer.
35 years.
Yeah.
35 years you had this studio in Southeast Texas of all places. And you've really enabled a lot of artists and a lot of people to be themselves and to pursue what they love and you encourage it. Yeah. And I can tell, I mean, you're still jazzed on it.
I am. Well, it takes it's a lot of people over all those years.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people who've been helping happen, getting me to get things done. And it's like not just me, but just a whole amazing collective of folks who all wanted to join in and be a part of it for as long as they could.
Yeah.
And that makes it all worthwhile.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
We thank you. I mean, I don't think we would be doing this if it wasn't for people like you in the area.
Cool.
It's a big influence. So we thank you for all your time and what you've done, and thanks for coming and hanging out with us, man.
Glad to be here. It was fun. Yeah. My first blog.
All right. Well, that's gonna be it for this episode.
If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions for Greg, what's a good way to contact you? Do you social
website,
media?
you
and
got
all that?
Social media, do all that. Greg B at artstudio.org or artstudio.org. Facebook, website, pretty good. It still takes a while to get through all that. But Facebook, we have a very busy.
So the Art Studio,
right.
Beaumont, Texas. If you want
just walk in the door whenever they're doing a band night or something.
Yeah.
So
play it up. $5.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Don't. Oh yeah, we already starting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I enjoyed that episode thoroughly, Zach.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but for real, you guys. Greg Sr. had a lot of really cool insights. Tell us about the art studio. Are we actually recording right now?
Yeah.
You gotta give me warning, man.
Yeah, doing that. Keep going.
All right, but we did. We got a lot of good insights on the studio, their progress, getting up to snuff.
Yeah, getting that new wheelchair ramp.
Yeah, everything.
Or the
everything.
big
yeah.
lift and all that, and just all the other things he's doing, changing the lighting in there, the library. It's a lot of really cool stuff. So definitely.
But he's doing it. He's getting grants.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's responsible for the murals you're going to be seeing popping up around. Our buddy Chris Presley's working on one right now.
Shout out to Chris Presley for
I
the
think
mural.
Betty Smith got one.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
But there's a lot of people that are doing those things, so that's cool. So you can thank Mr. Schultz.
They also have the in the summertime they have the what is it, Zach? What am I trying to think
The
of?
workshops. They do
No,
the children's workshop.
They do children's workshops like like a camp.
Well, the big thing is if you go to artstudio.org, you can find all this stuff happening and everything that's going on. They got a really good website.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you got
It looks
you got,
great.
you got the classes up there. You have exhibits that are coming up and the schedule for them. You got an about. You have current tenants. You can find out about the Issue magazine that they work on. Also, band night. They have some videos from band nights and ways to become a member.
I know they do life drawing once a week, I believe.
Yeah.
Our friend Jody, she does that. They also have the alternative show coming up, which is an open to the public show. It's not exclusive. It's very inclusive. If you have anything you want to submit, Yolanda keeps hounding me about getting in that, and I think I am actually going to put something in that show.
Well, anyway, go to the website. Oh, it's going to be on display through the 24th. It kicks off June 3rd is whenever it's going to be happening. The alternative show. So yeah, dude, like go check out everything they're doing because he does a lot of good stuff for the community, and it's a great place to hang out.
Right, he does so much, and it would take so little from you to pay him back.
For sure.
Literally, just recognize the art studio and their impact, and just go to a show or something, or it's usually either extremely cheap or free.
You're right.
So you have nothing to lose, and then also buy Seaport Coffee. Shout out. Let's get caffeinated.
Texas Coffee Company. All right, guys, thanks for listening, and we love you.
Well, you do. We're just good friends.
I said we love you.
Zach loves you. We're just good friends.
All right, bye everybody.